Hi everyone, and welcome back to Coffee with My Sunshine. If you're new here, thanks for stopping in. I hope you like what you see and consider subscribing. Today's DIYs are going to be a part of an open collab or challenge type thing, and this is hosted by Heidi from Happily Thriving Heidi, and it is called the Fall Farmhouse DIY, and I don't know if she's considering it a challenge or a playlist. But also her co-host is Holly from Living It Country. They both have some really awesome channels. I will link them down below along with the playlist. So if you'd like to see what I did for my fall farmhouse DIYs, please keep watching. So first off, I want to apologize. This video is going to be a little bit longer than I usually do, but I have 4 crafts that I was showing you, so I hope you like them. So first we're going to start off with these wood rounds. These ones are from Arteza. They sent them to me and they come in this huge package. Or you can go ahead and use, ones that you already have. These are ones that we used from a tree that had fallen in our yard, and we just cut up some of the branches. But for this project, I'm just going to use these because they already have the holes drilled in. And I'm also going to be using the indoor-outdoor paint that Arteza sent me. I will link these 2 things in the description box if you want to check them out. So I'm going to start by tying just a little bit of twine on each of these, just because I want to be able to hang them in the right direction. I'm making a garland. You'll see what I mean at the end. But you want to make have just a little bit of extra twine there so that you can make a loop. Then I'm going to take a little bit of the white paint on all of these, and I'm just going to paint kind of like a pumpkin shape on all of them. And I'm not doing an awesome job because I want them to be farmhouse rustic looking. After that's dried, I went ahead and used some of the gray and just kind of sketched in with a little bit of paint, kind of the little bumpy sections of a pumpkin. Like I said, I'm not worried about being perfect, but if you want, you can go ahead and get a little pumpkin and trace it on there. But I'm going to freehand it, so we'll see how it turns out. Then after the gray is dried, I'm going to add a little bit of dark brown just because I want to give it a little bit of texture and dimension. And I'm sorry if you can hear my laptop in the background buzzing. It's for some reason very hot. So the fan kicked on. Then after those are dry, I'm taking a little bit of this papaya color and orange and mixing them together because I don't want it to be like an in-your-face orange. I just want it to have a little tinge of color. And then I'm going to paint not all of the pumpkin orange because I want some of the white to poke through. This is all preference. You can do it however you want. So after they're dry, just take some twine, as long as you want the garland to be, and start putting, see, like right there is what I was talking about. You want them to face forward. That's why I had to tie them first with the little pieces of twine. So go ahead and add them to the long garland piece, and after you've positioned them where you want them, just put a little dab of hot glue so that they stay in place, and then snip off the excess. And then I'll show you what that looks like at the end. We're going to move on to the next one. And this one I think was my favorite just because it's a lot different than I've seen, and it looks really rustic. So you're going to take a pumpkin just for size. I took a Dollar Tree one and put it in the center of the extra burlap that I had and cut it to size. And then you're going to take some grocery bags and match it to the same size as the pumpkin that you used, you know, to measure out the burlap. And I'm just taking a branch that I just broke into pieces to make the stem. You can go ahead and use a larger piece or whatever you have for a stem. And then here you're just going to hot glue them to the bag, and it's going to be really, really flimsy because all it has to sit on is the plastic bags. And then you're going to squish out the excess air, and make sure you, when you glue this, that you glue the burlap to the stem. And that will make the stem a little bit sturdier, and also give the burlap something to hang on to besides the plastic bag. And this is how you're going to glue it, so that you have these weird little corner pieces. And then go ahead and cut them in kind of like a curved shape to follow the shape of the pumpkin. And then you're going to hot glue the edges. Make sure you're hot gluing the burlap to itself and not to the plastic bags. And this is kind of where the trash to treasure type thing comes in, because you're just using scrap pieces of fabric and grocery bags and pieces of wood. So you're just going to go all the way around, and I'm using a stick here because this is super hot, and I recommend using a high heat hot glue gun because I'm not sure the low heat ones would hold. And after you have all the edges glued, and after it has cooled, see the stem is a lot sturdier now. I just took the frayed edges and made them even more frayed just by pulling the extra pieces of string. I will show you that one at the end also. Next, if you've been with me for a while, you've seen me use this technique before. You're just going to fill an old sock with grocery bags to make a tiny pumpkin. And you're going to go ahead and glue the sock to itself to make a round ball. And then because these are like extra old socks, they're probably a little dingy. So that's why I'm taking some of this lace and just wrapping it around. After that has cooled, you're just going to take some twine and make the little plump sections of a pumpkin. And I'll link the original video to see how these are made more in depth if you haven't made these already. And you want the twine to be tied all on the same side. It'll be on the bottom so that you can't see it. And this is what they look like. And you're going to have a mess on the bottom, so I just took a round piece of burlap that I'd cut out, and I'm going to glue that so that you can't see all the little knots. And then take another stem or another branch and glue it for the stem. And for this one, I wasn't totally happy with how it turned out. You can use this t-shirt yarn or twine or just regular rope. But I still wanted to show you how to do this because I think it has a lot of potential if you can, you know, kind of fix. I don't know what I didn't really like about it, but if you just take your time and actually make these the right way, I guess, I don't know. I think they would be really, really cute. But I took this t-shirt yarn and went ahead and wrapped it all the way around the sock, and you want it longer than it is round. And then I just took a little bit of burlap and cut like little scalloped edges. I think that's what it's called, scalloped edges. Anyway, with the round, you know, bumpy thing on it. So I'll just show you how I did that. And I did a couple layers of these. You just hot glue them over the bottom layers. And this is going to be the top of the acorn. And you don't want the bumps to line up with the last layer. Does that make sense? So then before I put the final layer on, I went ahead and glued a piece of twine for the hanger, because you could hang this from a garland as well with your pumpkins, or I don't know, on a doorknob or something cute. I also took another round piece of burlap that I'd cut and cut a slit in the center so that I could put it as the topper of the acorn and pull the hanger through. And I went ahead and hot glued that. And then for the little pumpkin center or pumpkin placeholder things, I took an old bag, paper bag that I was going to throw away just to make a name tag or any kind of tag. You can put somebody's name if you're going to put these at each place setting. And you can glue it to the little wood rounds. I'm using the ones that we had got from the tree in our yard. You could glue them to that, or you could just set them on top. And this is what everything looks like together. I think it turned out kind of cute. Let me know in the comments below which ones were your favorite. And this time I went ahead and went with like more neutral tones, because I know a lot of you said that's what you're going with this year. And here's the acorn. And here's the pumpkin. I think that one's my favorite. I like how different it is. And I'll link these candles in the description box. I've shown you those before if you want to check out the Antique Candle Company's fall line of candles. They're really, really, really yummy smelling. And don't forget to head on over to the playlist. I'll have that linked in the description box. Also check out Heidi and Holly's channels. Tell them I sent you. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.